You're taking pics in a little boy's room. Go to hell, Jessica. She be at her apartment. Is she not allowed to lay down in bed? I'm confused. I took that picture on purpose because I knew the reaction it was gonna get. So mission completed.
Why is the mama in Javon's bed? You know, I don't think there's nothing wrong with nobody sleeping in the kid's bed. What I think is wrong is when you see an evil motherfucker that posted. Why would you show the kids that you in their bed? That's the weirdest shit I ever seen in my life. It's like, why would you?
The internet did not wake up peacefully. It woke up swinging like it just got dragged into a reality show it didn't sign up for. Because somehow, someway, a few pictures, yes, just pictures, turned into a full-blown digital war zone. And guess who's at the center of it? Oh, just Karlissa Jaidyn and Jaidyn Alexis, teaming up like the most unexpected duo in a Zeus Network season finale, going straight for Nevaeh's mom. And listen, when I say things escalated fast, I mean faster than a group chat turning toxic at 2 a.m. Because why were there pictures? Inside Blueface's son's room, no warning, no explanation, just vibes, and not the good kind. The kind that makes people pause mid-scroll and go, wait, who allowed this? Suddenly. Timelines were flooded, comment sections turned into battlegrounds, and fans started connecting dots that may or may not exist. But that didn't stop them. Oh no, the internet doesn't need facts, it needs drama. And baby, it got a full buffet. Now here's where it gets messy. Because Karlissa Jaidyn didn't just respond, she clocked in. No soft statements, no PR filter, just straight. Energy like she'd been waiting for someone to try her. And right beside her, Jaidyn Alexis, who came in like, oh, we doing this today? Meanwhile, people are asking the real question, why is Nevaeh's mom even there? Who gave the green light? And why does it feel like we just skipped 3 episodes and landed straight in the reunion special? Memes started flying, TikToks went crazy, Twitter, sorry. X looked like a WWE arena with fans picking sides like it's WrestleMania. And just when you thought it couldn't get more chaotic, more details started leaking out, making the whole situation look even wilder than it already did. Because this isn't just about pictures anymore. This is about boundaries, respect, and a whole lot of unresolved tension that's been quietly building behind the scenes. And trust me, what Karlissa Jaidyn said next, yeah, that's what turned this from drama into a full-on internet meltdown. So let's rewind this chaos, because nothing about this situation just randomly happened. This was brewing like a pot left on high heat with nobody watching it. The tension between Karlissa Jaidyn, Jaidyn, Alexis, and anything connected to Nevaeh has been low-key simmering for a minute, not loud, not explosive, just enough side-eyes, slick comments. And I'm watching you energy to let you know something wasn't sitting right behind the scenes. Now enter the moment that flipped everything upside down, those pictures. No dramatic announcement, no explanation, just images quietly posted that spoke louder than any caption ever could. And what did people notice instantly? The setting. Not just any random place, but inside Blueface's son's room. Yeah, that room, the one people consider off-limits, sacred territory, the kind of space that automatically raises eyebrows if you're not supposed to be there, and the internet. Oh, it didn't hesitate. Within minutes, fans were zooming in like detectives who just got their first big case. Wait, is that his crib? Why does it look like that room? Who took these? It went from curiosity to full-blown investigation mode in seconds. And the more people looked, the more questions started stacking up like unpaid bills. But here's where the plot thickens, because instead of silence, instead of ignoring it, Karlissa Jaidyn stepped in like she had something to say. And trust me, she did not come to whisper. The energy was immediate, sharp, and very much giving I've been waiting for this moment. No hesitation, no holding back. just straight up calling out what she felt crossed a line. At the same time, Jaidyn Alexis wasn't sitting quietly either. Because let's be real, when has she ever stayed silent when things get messy? Exactly. She jumped right into the conversation, and suddenly it felt less like a reaction and more like a coordinated clap back. The kind where both sides already had their thoughts locked and loaded, just waiting for the right trigger. Meanwhile, Nevaeh's side, quiet, at least at first. And you already know how the internet reacts to silence. They start writing their own storyline. Some people were defending, saying it might have been harmless, maybe just a visit, maybe nothing deeper. Others, oh, they were not buying it. To them, this was disrespect. Plain and simple, no gray area. And let's talk about that boundary conversation. Because it exploded quick, people started debating like it was a courtroom case. Who has access to that space? Who should be allowed there? Is this crossing the line? It stopped being about pictures and started becoming about respect, control. And who really holds power in this entire situation? Then came the whispers, because of course there were whispers. Allegations started floating around, not confirmed, not proven, but loud enough to keep the fire burning. Some fans claimed this wasn't the first time something like this happened. Others hinted that relationships behind the scenes were way more complicated than what's shown publicly. And suddenly, the situation went from messy to layered. But here's the part that really turned heads: the timing. Why now? Out of all moments, why drop those pictures at a time when tensions were already fragile? People started connecting dots that may or may not exist. But once the internet starts connecting dots, there's no stopping it. The narrative begins writing itself, and logic, yeah, that takes a back seat. And as all this unfolds, one thing becomes very clear: nobody involved is backing down. Not Karlissa Jaidyn, not Jaidyn Alexis, and definitely not the side being talked about. It's like everyone is standing their ground, waiting to see who's going to make the next move, because this isn't just drama anymore. This is a full-blown standoff. And just when you think things might calm down, that's when the real reactions start pouring in. And trust me, they didn't just add fuel to the fire. They poured gasoline on it, and just like that, the situation didn't just escalate. It leveled up into something that felt less like social media drama and more like a full-on reality show crossover nobody was ready for. Because the moment Karlissa Jaidyn and Jaidyn Alexis started doubling down, the internet didn't just react, it picked sides like this was the finals of a championship nobody trained for. Suddenly, timelines were flooded with clips, reposts, slowed down screenshots, and dramatic voiceovers like people were narrating their own documentaries. Every single word said was being analyzed like it was a coded message. Did she mean this? Was that shade? Who is she talking about? It turned into a guessing game, but with way more attitude and way less logic. Now here's where things got loud, because Karlissa Jaidyn didn't just respond once and log off. Oh no, she kept going. The energy was giving "I've got time today," and every follow-up made it clearer that she wasn't just upset. She felt disrespected, and not in a subtle way either. This was the kind of reaction that screams, "You crossed a line you shouldn't even have walked near." Meanwhile, Jaidyn Alexis came through with that calm butt-cutting delivery. No, the kind where it doesn't sound loud, but it hits harder. She didn't need to yell. She didn't need theatrics. It was more like, "I see everything, and I'm not letting it slide." And that contrast, yeah, it made the situation even messier. And then, boom, the memes arrived. Because you already know the internet doesn't stay serious for long. Within hours, people turned the entire situation into comedy gold. There were edits comparing it to Keeping Up with the Kardashians episodes, jokes about it being a lost script from a Zeus Network fight scene, even wild comparisons to backstage chaos at WWE events. Somebody literally said, "This feels like a Marvel crossover where nobody knows who the villain is." And honestly, they weren't wrong, but underneath the jokes, oh, there was real division. One side was riding hard for Karlissa Jaidyn and Jaidyn Alexis, saying they had every right to speak up. To them, this was about respect, boundaries, and protecting a child's space. They were like, why is anyone acting confused? That's not okay, period. The other side? Completely different energy. They were questioning everything. Are we missing context? Was this taken out of proportion? Why does it feel like people are reacting before knowing the full story? And just like that, the internet turned into a courtroom again, with everybody playing judge, jury, and loudest commentator. And then came the contradictions, because of course they did. Old clips started resurfacing. Past comments were being dug up like buried treasure. People were pointing out moments where boundaries may or may not have been blurred before, trying to prove this wasn't as simple as it looked. Suddenly, the narrative wasn't clean anymore. It was layered, messy, and full of weight. But didn't they do this before? Now here's the part that really sent things into chaos mode. The reactions from outside voices, random influencers, bloggers, and even people who had nothing to do with the situation started chiming in. Everyone had an opinion, and nobody was holding back. Some were stirring the pot. Others were trying to explain the drama like they were insiders, and a few, oh, they were just there to watch everything burn and drop a laughing emoji. Meanwhile, Nevaeh's side finally started making subtle noise, not loud, not direct, but just enough to keep people guessing. Little hints, vague posts, indirect responses, the kind that make you go, okay, something's definitely happening behind the scenes. And that's when the situation hit its peak confusion. Because now nobody knows who's telling the full truth, who's reacting emotionally, and who's just playing the internet like a game of chess. It's like every new post answers one question but creates 5 more. The storyline keeps shifting, the tension keeps rising, and the audience completely hooked. At this point, it doesn't even feel like a single incident anymore. It feels like a chain reaction that's been waiting to explode. And just when people thought it couldn't get more chaotic, that's when the real consequences started showing up. And trust me, that's where everything changed. And just when everyone thought the chaos had peaked, that's when the aftermath hit, and it hit hard. Because now, it wasn't just about who said what or who posted what. It became about damage, real reputations, real relationships, real tension spilling out in a way that couldn't be cleaned up with a simple misunderstanding. You could literally feel the shift. Online, the jokes slowed down, the memes got a little less funny, and people started looking at the situation like, wait, this might actually be deeper than we thought. Because when Karlissa Jaidyn and Jaidyn Alexis stood 10 toes down on their reactions, it made it clear this wasn't just internet entertainment for them. This was personal. And that's where the emotional fallout started creeping in. Supporters who were once loud and confident, some of them started second-guessing everything. You had people switching sides mid-thread, deleting comments, rewriting their takes like they were editing a script in real time. Because now it wasn't just about defending your favorite. It was about trying to figure out what actually happened behind the scenes. Meanwhile, alliances. Oh, they started shaking. People who used to move in the same circle suddenly looked like they were on completely different teams. The energy shifted from messy but funny to tense and unpredictable. It felt like everyone was watching closely, waiting for someone to slip up, reveal too much, or accidentally confirm what the internet had been speculating all along. And don't even get started on the silence. Because that silence got loud, Nevaeh's side still wasn't giving a full, clear response, and instead of calming things down, it made everything worse. Because when people don't get answers, they create them. The theories got wilder, the assumptions got bolder, and suddenly the narrative wasn't controlled by the people involved anymore. It was being driven by the audience. Some were saying this was all a misunderstanding blown out of proportion. Others were convinced there was a deeper issue nobody wanted to admit publicly. And a few, they believed this was just the beginning of something much bigger, something that's been building quietly for a long time. Then came the subtle moves, little actions, small posts, indirect shade, the kind that doesn't scream, but whispers just loud enough to keep the tension alive. You'd see a post and think, was that aimed at them? And before you could even decide, the comments were already exploding with people saying, oh yeah, that was definitely about them. At this point, it felt like everyone involved was playing a careful game, not fully exposing everything, but not backing down either, like they all knew something the public didn't, and they were choosing how much to reveal, piece by piece. And that's what kept people glued to their screens, refreshing timelines like they were waiting for the next episode to drop. Because let's be real, this situation changed how people view everything. It raised questions about boundaries, trust, and who really has access behind closed doors. It made fans realize that what looks simple on the surface can actually be layered with history, emotions, and unspoken tension. And once those cracks start showing, it's hard to pretend everything is fine again. But just when things felt like they were slowly settling, a twist hit, not loud, not explosive, but enough to make people pause and go, wait, what does that mean? A small detail, a quiet shift, something that didn't make headlines but changed the energy completely. And now the curiosity is even bigger than before. Because if this much chaos came from just a few pictures, what happens when the full story finally comes out? Yeah, something tells me this isn't over. Now listen, if you made it all the way through this chaos without blinking, congratulations, because this wasn't just drama. This was a whole cinematic universe of confusion, shade, and wait. What just happened energy? And somehow, we're still left with more questions than the answers. Like this storyline just hit us with a cliffhanger and dipped. Because let's be real for a second, was this really just about pictures? Or was this the moment everything that's been building behind the scenes finally cracked wide open? I need to know what you think. Because the internet is split right down the middle like a reality show finale gone wrong. So go ahead. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Was Karlissa Jaidyn and Jaidyn Alexis justified? Or do you think this whole situation got blown way out of proportion? And don't play it safe either. I want the real opinions, the spicy takes, the theories that might get you side-eyed in a group chat. And while you're at it, go ahead and smash that like button like it owes you money. Because you already know this kind of drama deserves a standing ovation. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, because let's be honest, if this is how things are unfolding now, the next update might just break the internet for real. Turn on notifications too, because you do not want to be the one hearing about the next twist late. We're talking real-time chaos, instant reactions, and breakdowns that hit faster than the drama itself. And trust me, when the next piece of this puzzle drops, you're gonna want front row seats. This story, oh, it's far from finished. And over here at Fame Flaws, we don't just watch the drama, we decode it, we break it down, and we serve it back hotter than it started. So stay locked in, stay messy, and stay ready. Because the next chapter, yeah, it might be the wildest one yet.